People talk about healing like it's this soft, cozy thing, candles lit, journals open, sun pouring through the window. But let me be honest with you, that's not what healing looks like when you're really in it. Real healing? It's raw. It's crying in your car because you held it together too long. It's questioning if you're even making progress because some days feel heavier than the last. It's not pretty. And it's definitely not always peaceful. Sometimes it's waking up exhausted, even after 10 hours of sleep, because your soul is tired. Sometimes it's wanting to reach out to someone who hurt you, just so you don't feel so alone. Sometimes it's realizing how much of your life you spent surviving instead of actually living. Healing isn't something you show off. It's something you feel in the moments no one else sees. The moments when you choose not to spiral. When you pause instead of react. When you sit with a hard truth instead of running from it. That's where the healing happens. Quiet, messy, private, but powerful. They don't talk enough about the middle part of healing. Everyone wants to skip from I'm broken to I'm glowing. But the middle, that's where most people quit. Because it's confusing. Some days you feel proud of yourself. And others you wonder if you're back at square one. You might set boundaries one day and then second guess them the next. You might feel brave in the morning and numb by evening. That middle space is frustrating. It's where the work really happens. It's where your triggers show up the loudest. Where your old patterns try to pull you back. Where your growth feels invisible because there's no applause for the progress no one can see. But every time you choose differently, even if it's small, it counts. Choosing not to chase the same type of person again? Growth. Choosing to take a breath instead of snapping back? Growth. Choosing to sit with discomfort instead of numbing it? That's growth too. The middle isn't glamorous, but it's sacred. Healing isn't free. It costs you old habits, familiar people, sometimes even entire versions of yourself. You might have to walk away from people you still love, not because they're evil, but because they can't grow with you. You might have to face things you spent years avoiding, memories you buried, emotions you were told to suppress. You'll lose some things that used to feel safe, but you'll gain peace that can't be faked. And peace will ask you to get uncomfortable at first. It'll ask you to be still, to stop chasing validation, to be okay with people not understanding your growth. That's not easy, but it's necessary. Healing costs comfort. It costs approval. It costs pretending, but it buys you your wholeness. And that's a price worth paying. You are not who you used to be. And that's not a bad thing. You're softer now, but you're also stronger. You're slower to react, not because you're weak, but because peace changed your priorities. You're learning to speak up without guilt, to choose rest without shame, to protect your space even if it makes you look selfish, to people who were used to your self-sacrifice. You're not cold. You're clear. You're not distant. You're discerning. And yeah, you're not the same, but that was the goal. You outgrew who you had to be just to survive. And now you're becoming who you were always meant to be. Not perfect, not polished, but real and free. If you're still in the middle of it, I want you to know you're not behind. You're rebuilding. Every quiet decision to not go back to what broke you is healing. Every tear you've cried in silence is release. You're doing the work, even if it doesn't feel like it. You're not lazy. You're tired from carrying things you were never meant to hold alone. You don't need to explain why you're not as available, why you don't respond as fast, or why you're not the same version of you people remember. You're allowed to rest. You're allowed to slow down. You're allowed to choose peace over performing. And you deserve to heal fully, not just survive, not just function, but actually feel whole. Let this be your permission, not to rush it, not to force it, but to stay with yourself until the healing finds you completely. You deserve that, every part of it.